if your calculator is spitting out mixed numbers, which you don't want, the graphing calculators don't do that, so don't worry about that. Did you figure that one? You got it? Okay. Now, I need you guys to know how to do fractions on the calculator if you're not going to do them on paper. So that is your responsibility. I need you guys to master fractions on the calculator. Because then, once you master fractions on the calculator, fractions are never a problem anymore. Doesn't that sound amazing?
Yeah.
If fractions were not a problem. Because all you have to do is master the calculator. Okay? Now, you guys can use, like, $200 phones like it's nothing. Like, you're all sitting here like, boop, boop, boop. You can use a calculator. Okay? You guys are smart.
I can't do the phone.
Okay. You can't do the phone.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about equations of a line.
Can you go down just to that problem that you had on the board site? Is that if that's going to be fx equals a minus 3?
No. That was just an example. That was just a number example. Don't worry about those. Don't worry about it.
I was trying to figure out where I'm at on my problem.
I'm going to delete this.
Okay.
Okay, so what we need to do to find the equation of a line, we need the point slope formula. Okay, the point slope formula is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1.
That's y minus y1
equals m parentheses x minus x1.
This looks complicated.
It's not that complicated. There's three things you plug in for. You plug in for x1, y1, and m. X and y are your variables. They need to stay there. Okay, so sometimes people try to replace everything with numbers. You're not going to replace everything.
Because you're wanting to create an equation.
Yes. So you never replace x and y. X and y are always just going to stay x and y. You want to replace x1 and y1 with a point on the line. So you want to replace x1 and y1 with a point on the line. Now, if you know more than one point on the line, it doesn't matter which one you pick for x1 and y1. As long as you're not mixing and matching your points. And we replace m with what? Slope. Okay? Now, once I replace everything, then what do we want to do? I want to make it look normal. Okay? So I want to simplify and rearrange until I get y equals mx plus b. Okay? Y equals mx plus b is your goal. Okay, so let's try a practice problem. So let's do a practice problem to turn in. I have some participation 5 with a slope of, let's say, -3/8. Okay, so start by plugging in the stuff you know into your point slope formula. Try this one. See what you guys can do with this one. Start by plugging everything you know into your formula.
I'm often shorter than you, look like. I have it written out. I know my point is -2 and 5, my slope is -3/8. And so I replaced the corresponding letters.
Okay, so I want to do a -1 is going to be,
I missed it. I just messed it up.
no, y minus.
It's y minus y1, and y1 would be 5.
X,
You would do +2.
so that's going to be a 5 right here, right?
Yep. I just write them above the points, so I know.
So that's going to be minus. Okay, then we got
Is that right?
m, we don't do anything to m
Yes.
yet.
That's
Don't do
doing right
anything
now.
to x.
Now see what you
Minus
can do with that.
See, that's where I have problems with
a
First thing
-2.
you
distributing out.
First thing you always want to do is distribute.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm
Oh,
having
thank you.
problems, is trying to
What
distribute
is it?
the
Now,
right
what
side.
is minus -2?
What do you do next?
What is
First
x
thing you
minus
want to do
-2?
is distribute, and
So
your
it's
m
really
is
like
actually
x
your
plus
slope.
yeah.
Remember
Okay,
that?
so I should
Okay,
write it
so
that
the
way?
slope is right here.
Yes, it is.
Now, to distribute, you would do -3/8x. And then -3/8 times 2. The -3/8 times x is just -3/8 times x. And then do -3/8 times 2.
This is going to be my new problem, right? So I'm just putting my, that's going to be my m. Now, what do I do with these two numbers?
That's what I was just wondering until she told me. You're going to distribute first. So,
Oh, yeah.
-3/8 times x, which is
Okay.
-3/8x.
So you would have
That's
minus
easy.
4.
But -3 times over 8 times your -2.
Okay. And then y minus 5 equals that.
So how do you write the problem
Now,
down?
to get y equals...
What I did
I have
is
to
I took
right over there. Okay. So then you're just going to need to add this.
-3/8
Okay.
to add these.
times -2
Oh, I'm sorry.
equals 0.75.
I'm going to do it here.
Does that make sense?
Your x should be here.
Now how do you know to times it because it's in parentheses?
Yes, because you're distributing the m against this and the m against that. It's the distributive property of multiplication.
So it
So
would
I'm
be
distributing,
5
then that
3/4, but
has
you
to
don't
come
want it
down
that way,
like that, right?
Correct. Well, no, 5 and
Okay,
negative
so
3/4 would be 4 and 1/4.
mx, so it's gonna
But
be
you don't
m
want like 4 and 1/4.
Right, right, right.
You
x
want it in
here,
proper.
Yes.
right?
Okay.
That's, yeah. But you would have already calculated it out.
Oh, wait a minute, it's gonna be,
Because you have to get y by itself.
nope,
Oh, so you have to
okay.
No,
Explain it
I don't
to
need
me.
to do that because they already told me to do it.
Your m is actually negative 3/8
They
x.
told me
So instead of m,
okay.
read negative 3/8 3 over x. Or 8.
We're gonna do this up
Does
here.
that make sense?
Okay, so,
So we were replacing m with this.
oh, okay, so then I wanna write it like this, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong. 8, and then there's gonna be an x there,
Yep,
right?
that's right.
Okay, and then I go over and do this, so it's
Alright
a
guys, so let's
negative
do this up here so you guys can
3/8
what we're doing.
Times the
times a negative 2,
Yep.
okay.
First thing I want to do is figure out what they're telling me. They're telling me a point, that would be my x1 and my y1. They're telling me the slope, that would be my m. Okay? Now sometimes they don't give you the slope, they give you a second point, and then that's an extra step to find your slope. But if they already gave you the slope, you don't have to find it. Okay, so my equation that I want to plug into is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, then I want to plug in everything I know. So I know y1 is 5. I plug in y1 is 5, because I have y minus 5 on the left. Equals, my m is negative 3 over 8. And then I do times x minus x1. And x1 is negative, so I have x minus negative 2.
Wait a minute.
Okay, now the first thing I would do is I would just say, well, x minus negative 2 is really x plus 2. So that's the first thing I would do, is even if you do that in your head as the first step, that's fine.
Okay, will you look at this? Okay.
Well, you're trying to do more than one step here.
Okay.
You're trying to plug in and distribute. So plug in and then distribute.
Okay.
Second, okay?
Why does it become x plus 2? When you don't you do the distributive property multiplication first?
No, I just do this minus 2 here.
Just real
That's all
quick.
I did.
Alright.
No, if you just did that in your head and made it plus 2, that's fine. Okay? Once you've plugged everything in and flipped your double negatives if you need to, the next step is always to distribute. And get rid of the parentheses on the right. Okay? We distribute to get rid of parentheses. So distributing means multiplying negative 3 over 8 times x plus 2. Okay, so negative 3 over 8 times x is just negative 3 over 8 times x. Okay, so we don't know what x is. And what is negative 3 over 8 times 2? You can go on your calculator if you need to. Okay, negative 3 over 4. If you wrote 6 over 8, that's fine. It will eventually have to be
Simplified.
simplified. Okay, but on my calculator, I would do negative 3 over 8 times 2. And then math, fraction, enter, gives me negative 3/4.
Where did she get the 2? Okay.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay? Then, remember our goal is to get y equals by itself. So what do I need to do to get y equals on the left side? I need to add 5.
You can't add 5 though to negative 3 over 8x.
No, you never add or subtract your number from the x term. Always leave that alone. You always want to add your number to the second one. the constant. Okay? So you're always going to have two steps. You're going to have a multiplying step and then an adding or subtracting step, depending on what your signs are. Okay, so I want to leave negative 3/8 x alone. And then I want to add negative 3/4 times, or plus 5. So I already have negative 3/4 in my calculator. I want to add 5 to that. And I get 4.25, which is 4 1/4. Change that to a improper fraction. That is 17/4.
17/4.
That's what I got.
I got 23/4. Is that what you got?
Did you guys get 23 or 17? You would get 23 if you had positive 3/4 instead of negative 3/4.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, so if you lost your sign there, be careful with your sign. Some of you guys, I told you 23 was right.
Yeah.
I thought it looked right.
Yeah.
It was the right process, just the wrong number. You lost your negative 3/4.
Right, that's why I was telling her we didn't do.
Yeah, positive 3/4 plus 5 would be 23.
Right.
So you'd be adding the 3 instead of subtracting it from 40.
Yeah, comes up to 17 now.
Okay, so if you can do the fractions on the calculator, that is not that hard of a problem. There's basically two steps. There's the distributing step, and then you've got to move that constant over by adding or subtracting. That is our answer.
Oh.
So you don't have to simplify it, just leave it like that?
Leave it like that.
That's
Once
our
you get
function.
y equals, you are done.
That makes sense.
They want the answer as an improper fraction. They do not want mixed numbers.
Because our y-intercept is 17/4, and our slope is negative 3/8.
Yep. Now, do you guys want to see alternate methods?
Yes. Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. If you do not want to hear this, just ignore it. Okay? I don't want anybody to come up and say, I'm confused because you showed me 2 ways to do this. Okay? If you don't want another way to do this, then don't listen to another way to do it. Okay? Once I show you another way to do it, you need to pick one and go with it. Not try to combine them both. Okay, alternate method. The alternate method is you do not use that point slope formula at all. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. You do not use that at all. You only use y equals mx plus b. Did anybody learn to do this in high school this way? Not use the point slope formula? Does anybody remember high school? I don't really remember high school or what we did. I'm not really sure we did anything. I think anything I might know now I learned in college. Okay, so again, our point was, what was our point?
Negative 2, 5.
Negative 2, 5. And our slope
Negative 3.
is negative 3/8. Okay, so the alternate method is plug in the point for x and y, plug in the slope for m, and solve for b.
Oh, I get it.
Okay? Alright, so let's do,
This is simple.
you start with y equals mx plus b. I want to plug in my point for x and y. So my y was 5. My m was negative 3/8. I want to plug that in for m. My x was
Negative 2.
negative 2 plus b. I don't know B.
This is much simpler.
Now I want to solve for B. Now how do I solve this for B?
We're gonna put B over there.
Gotta get B by itself. What do I need to do do that?
Add 3 over 8. And, well, I guess you would multiply them out
You
first.
gotta
wouldn't you?
multiply the numbers first. So what's negative 3 over 8 times negative 2? Positive 3 over 4. Check that on the calculator if you want to make sure you can do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Multiply. Okay, then what do I need to do?
Subtract 3/4
Subtract 3/4
from both sides.
from both sides. Okay, so then 5 minus 3/4 is 17 over 4.
Yeah, that's a lot easier than the other way.
I've tried to do it this way, I've tried to show classes this way. What happens is people go home, they kind of forget what we were doing here. It's not fresh in their mind anymore, so they start looking at the examples, and the examples do not do this. They do the point sub formula. So just keep in mind, if you're going to look at the examples later, if you want to do it this way, you need to refer to your notes. Now, every problem can be done this way. You just have to remember how to do it yourself, because there's no examples of it.
I mean,
Now, once I figure out what B is, what is my final answer?
oh,
Now, B is not what they wanted. They wanted you to go back to
y equals.
y equals mx plus b. Now, I only plugged in the x and the y to find my b. For my final answer, x and y need to be variables. So I only plug in m and b for my final answer.
But they give you m, so that's easy.
So it's 5 equals 3/4 plus 17/4?
No. I'm saying for your final answer, x and y need to go back to being variables. You only plug those in to find b.
Is this what you mean?
It says in your answer would be.
It'd be
Like
y
equals negative
Oh,
3/4.
okay.
Well, no, your m was 3/8, so that was your m, and that's your b. So your final answer, you only plug in m and b. I had to plug in the x and the y in order to figure out what b was.
Right.
But you don't want to do that for your answer.
Gotcha.
You only plug in the m and the b for your final answer.
Oops.
Now, what was the first problem where they asked you to do this, Leslie?
Number 8.
You guys want to try number 8 on your own then? If you want to try it this way, let's try number 8. And then we'll look at one where they don't give you the slope, they just give you 2 points. I was asking if you could tell me what number it was.
The one
The one you were looking at?
It's number 9. It's the
Number
one where
8.
they give you 2 points.
Okay.
I finally figured out 8 when you.
Number 9 is just the same thing, except you've got an additional step at the beginning to find your slope.
Ah,
Right, yeah, I did. I found the slope.
Mm-hmm.
I found that.
Uh-huh.
And then plug your slope.
And then you plug in your slope, and for your point, you can use either one. As long as you just pick the whole thing, you don't mix and match.
Okay.
No mix and match.
Gotcha.
It's like magic. Little briefing.
Huh?
Yeah, I work public service. Don't worry. We're a little briefing.
Hmm?
Yeah. Here?
Yes.
Working out seems like. Freedom. I heard you probably. Very much up last night. Click on the whip. Not really, actually.
I'm thinking menu.
Well,
Okay.
she never sits
That's
down.
how you can always tell them no.
So usually,
That's how you can tell that I like you too. If I don't pick on you, then
That's what mom says. My mom says that if she starts punching you, she likes you.
yeah, no, I'm not a good person.
I appreciate that. Let's see.